In the dangerous wilderness, this treasure of a priest's structure is absolutely safe. It not only has a 2-meter-high stone tower stove for cooking and heating, but also extends to the floor of the whole house and a space where you can smoke delicious food at any time. It can be said to be the attitude of the wilderness construction industry. Even if you encounter wolves at night, you can hide in the treasure. The interior of the shelter is absolutely safe and sound. To say that the god of wilderness construction is Master Bochang from Southeast Asia. He stocked up a batch of wood in advance. With an idea in mind, he used the iron island to dig a chicken pit and planned to carry out today's big project. Digging the shelter may seem easy, but the hard soil is crushed. The wooden root reinforcement is undoubtedly the most time-consuming step in the early stage. Bochang spent several days alternately starting the construction of the chicken pit with shovels and iron islands, and then issued the steps to dig out the internal tunnel. In order to ensure the stable support of the shelter, he drew lines and dug the tunnel, and then found a batch of thinner wood sections. A new hole is dug out of the ground paper and 6 pieces of wood are embedded in the interior to backfill the soil blocks. The plan is to first synthesize a durable workbench. Once the workbench is used to process the logs, these logs can be processed as the main veneer. The smooth logs after being wrapped with wood veneer are anti-corrosion, insect-proof, and mildew-proof, so they can be greatly used as the main stand owner. To extend, you only need to set the roots of the tree in the hole to support the weight of the shelter, and the shelter really relies on the physical structure, so Bo often draws thousands of lines and marks them vertically with the end line, so that the grooves can be made through the marks to ensure that the subsequent functions can be used to pass through the grooves. After a little polishing, you still have to cut a half groove in the middle of the wood section so that the groove and half groove complement each other to increase the subsequent strength. Bochang fully prepares the wood with half groove air and square wood, and uses wild nails to firmly insert the connection position. Finally, he cuts these inexhaustible wind-driven rough stones. It is the material required for the strong body of the bunker. In order to make the strong body as strong as a rock, it also needs to mix the soil blocks to absorb water and soften them into adhesives. Combined with rubble, the strong body can be gradually raised. After a layer of bonding and a layer of gravel, the lower half of the strong body is already strong. It is already a way out, and it is worthy of attention. What I mean is that the strong body is a double row with a new and clean one. The first row stays half a meter high and the second row is parallel to the ground. Naturally, this is to make full use of the internal space. Bo often fits the wooden boards of the required size according to the play and cuts them into uniform lengths. Then, cut the edges into triangular heads to piece together a beautiful. The wooden storage layer is naturally stacked and gradually raised on both sides in the same way. It is used as a built-in storage space. This space is mainly used as a bedroom, so the wooden structure is naturally more comfortable. Bo often slides the wooden board between the vertical bamboos and drives nails to fix it, then stuffs hay into the gap to seal and keep warm. In order to make the board strong and stable, Bo often also cuts half a groove on the edge of the square rough wood and embeds a positioning wooden beam in the middle for subsequent laying of wooden boards to improve the stability of the overall structure. After all, it is a bedroom, so it naturally needs more space to cut the two-part board to make it wider. Some of the wooden storage layers thus spliced have the first experience of building a strong wooden structure. This object is familiar. The difference is that the storage has a small pull-out function, and there are functional side beams between the left positioning wooden beams. In the same way, half slots are open to combine the long thin wood into a frame of nearly 2 meters. Finally, the frame is attached to a short wooden board and fixed. Bo often fixes the triangular wooden piece at the bottom of the board and uses a few hinges as switches to achieve folding. Finally, the single groove is matched with the linen covering the surface and fixed with nails. After that, it becomes a simple and durable folding wooden bed. With a wooden bed, the bedroom naturally needs a wooden table. In order to save space as much as possible, the folding table board is naturally folded as before. Now the bedroom construction is basically completed. The deep underground is naturally a little damp. Bochang chose the fireplace in the middle of the pit. After the layers of stone slabs are rubbed, the fire stove mouth needs to be renovated. After carving the talc slab again, it was beaten a little to separate naturally, and the stove mouth was gradually raised. After a long time, the half body of the fireplace was completed. Bochang lit the fire, roasted the corpses, and ate at the same time. He stacked it to a height of more than 2 meters. The reason why Zhou Zhang built the stone tower house was naturally not it is only used for cooking and heating, but also considers the method of heating the whole house. The flue is glued with gravel and mud until it is connected from the stoveroom to the bedroom, and then it is sealed with wooden sticks. Of course, the top and bottom of the wooden sticks are also treated with mud fireproofing. After a while, the concave parts on both sides are sealed. It also has to be paved. Just mix gravel and soil and finally pound the rammed earth. For other parts of the stone wall, there is no need to use a double row structure. Glue the mud into a suitable version and complete it like a puzzle. The stone wall on the right side of the boiler room has been completed, but Bo Chang has other considerations on the left side. UPS relied on simple board grooves to fill the inner wall with comprehensive insulation. The left wall of the furnace room was built as a wooden structure. The reason why we chose a wooden wall was to consider the expansion function of wood. A whole log was figuratively cut and chopped, and finally used a pavement instead of a rope to polish it as a storage material for the wooden wall. I have to say that this space utilization is really effective, but it did not stop but took it to the extreme. It created a slot for the wood tools and used a spare board as a board die in order to mainly carry several hollow logs and use wire troughs to realize the sliding of drawers. The interior is already very good at this time, but it is thin and long. It is better to restack a test wall as the middle wall. The thin and long part is not wasted. A batch of cut wood blocks are combined and installed on the long board, and the small wooden tools are embedded in the empty spaces as tools. The original wall of the lamp has no reference. The outer wall also needs to be pulled to determine the consistency of the stone wall. After sealing each gap with mud, the wall is basically completed, but the interior is still damp. Although the auxiliary entrance is nearly 2 meters high, half of it is already buried under the ground, so Bo Chang's plan is to make a sliding wooden door, finish splicing the wooden boards, drive in iron nails, and join the newly opened tree grooves. A simple test will make the wooden boards fit together. Considering the height of the entrance, a load-bearing wooden board must be put on the back. The two thick wooden swords have a nail slot in the center and are inserted into the interior. First of all, we must consider the measurement of the entrance. It is not difficult to say that it is not difficult. We only need the half grooves at both ends to naturally fit on the two vertical bamboos of the front door. In order to realize the portable thin long ring of the wooden door, drill holes for the measurement and sliding door respectively. An ordinary rope can be used as a load. Speaking of the load bearing of the ceiling of the shelter, there is no need to use such strong logs. These thick logs are only used for the frame and covering. It is safe to use these slightly thinner sticks without touching the 800 kilogram wild boar. Fish and water are rare in this forest, so for waterproofing, it is not necessary to restore the soil around the Yangtze River and cover it with a durable transparent plastic film. After all, it is more than enough to cover the top layer with more soil. In the new season, you only need to cut it in half, and it will be a natural stone and wood shadow that can be used for meals in the pillar room. After 2.5 months of hard work, it was finally the first day of moving in. The clean Taishan was cleared and cleaned. In the desolate and inhabited virgin forest, the captain entered the bunker with his luggage and placed the living facilities one by one on the storage floor. The interior not only has a familiar feeling, but also provides convenience for long-term residents. The first day of the castle was very busy. Not only did he have to cook various meat products, he also marinated the big meat. As for the stone tower stew, there was enough food in a short period of time. The candle light in the wall brought light, and the aroma was constantly wafting on the burning fireplace. After the day passed slowly, he closed the door, put the dinner that had been smoked for several hours on the chopping board, changed the knife, and put it back in the frying pan to heat the daily delicacies.